My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Welcome to the show, and today I want to tell you about something new that I have coming. This is a project I've been working on for over a year and a half, and it is set to be released. It is set to be in your hands very soon. It is called Work on Your Game. The subtitle being the pro athlete mindset, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate in sports, business, and life. Before this book, I have written 21 books. So let's get right into it, because I got several points I need to share with you here today, so you understand the significance of this book, Work on Your Game. First point, we have links to everywhere you can pre-order the book and some other things that I'm going to tell you about, you may be reading about right now. Point number 2, what is in this book? This book is for the business person, and no matter which area you're most focused in right now, whether that be your work, your sport, or your life, a business book is going to help you, especially one that's coming from Dre Baldwin. Nobody else can make the book that I made. You're going to learn about that in a future episode. The topics that I cover on this podcast are going to be covered in my book, Work on Your Game. We know discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative. Of course, they're going to be covered in the book. But what you're also going to hear about, some life stuff that is outside of sports and work, some things from my upbringing, some things from my basketball life that you don't know about, and some details that I have not talked about on this podcast, and also in my business life. I haven't talked about business that much here on this podcast. I've done a little bit more in the last 6 months, but I'm going to talk about business from some other angles that I haven't addressed at all on this podcast. And again, some more details that I haven't gotten into here on this pod, this podcast is really not about me personally. This podcast is really more about you. But in this book, I'm going to tell you some more things about myself. It's going to be a self-help book, which is how this is a self-help podcast, aligned with my brand. You're going to hear some stories from some other people on these same topics: discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative. What about mentorship? What about dealing with those mental challenges that seem to get you down, even though you don't want to have those mental challenges, but they seem to keep popping up over and over again. You can't do anything about it. Point number 3, what are you going to get out of this book? Why would you even want to read this book? If you never heard of me, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, why would you want to read this book? I'm going to tell you. Number 1, what you're going to get is a permanent guide to your mental game. This is not you listen to it today and then this one goes away, and then you listen to the next one tomorrow and then that goes away. The way that we consume content these days, it seems kind of disposable, right? We can listen to it, read it, enjoy it, and then it goes away. Maybe there'll be a few that you save or something you download because it meant a lot to you, but the majority of it, we don't even remember it because we know it's going to be more coming in the future. From the time that the idea of this book was originally discussed between the author, the editor, and everything, to when it's actually coming out, is actually going to be over a year. It's going to be closer to 2 years. So if you like this podcast, where it can take me 5 minutes from concept to ready, imagine what you're going to get out of something that took a year and a half from concept to ready. Second thing you're going to get out of this book, we're still on point number 3, you're going to get a physical book that looks as good as it reads and it sounds. So physically, it looks good. This is something you can put on your coffee table, you can keep in your bedroom, you can put on your shelf, you can put it on your desk. People are going to see it and they're going to say, what is that? Who wrote it? What is it about? They're going to pick it up. They're going to leaf through it. This is something that looks good. This is a keepsake. Some of you, I'm sure, prefer audiobooks. Since you like audio, how about this? How about I make you a proposition? Would you like to get the audiobook free? Let me tell you how you're going to do that. Pre-order the physical book, and once the book comes out, all I need you to do is leave a review of the book. Send me a screenshot of your review, 5-star review and rating, and I'll send you a code to get the audiobook completely free while supplies last. We will run out of free audiobooks, but when we run out, then everybody else can buy it because they were late. So point number 4, this is the last point here today. I'm going to tell you about the best pre-order, the best book pre-order giveaway that has ever existed. I'm going to tell you all the things that you're going to get, which is outlined right now. I'm just going to tell you what is already listed on the website. They're going to give you a receipt that says you pre-ordered this book, you paid for this book, whatever it is. All you got to do is send that to the email address that we have already here on the website. You're going to get a video of me reading the introductory chapter of the book. You will enjoy, I guarantee, I demand that you enjoy hearing and seeing me read my own words to introduce you to the book, Work on Your Game. I may even throw a free PDF of that introductory chapter in addition to the video. And that's just with a wink and a smile. Number 2, you're going to get the PDF of how I would build my brand starting today. I started building my brand in 2005 when the rules and the platforms and everything was a whole lot different than it is now in 2019. 14 years later, if I was just starting out today, which I know many of you are, how would I build my brand now? What would I do knowing what I know now, the experiences that I've had, the things that have changed, the things that have stayed the same, the knowledge that I've gleaned over the last 14 years. What would I do different to start my brand right now from zero? I'm gonna give you the PDF on how to do that. Number 3, the 10 roles of You Incorporated. If you are going to start a business based on creating content, you're going to be in the media space, whether that's video, written, or audio formats, or a combination of all 3. What are the roles that need to be filled? I'm going to tell you the answer to that in this PDF. It is called the 10 roles of You Incorporated. I'm going to give you the PDF and I'm going to give you the audio version of that. And one more thing you're going to get just for pre-ordering one copy of this book, the 8 people to surround yourself with as you go on your journey. And a lot of you are on solo journeys right now. You're going to need to surround yourself with some people. And some of you have people around you right now who you're kind of questioning. You're looking at them funny because you're not quite sure if they're the right type of person. If you're questioning, they're probably not the right type of person. All of this, everything that I just said, you're going to get just for pre-ordering one copy of Work on Your Game and sending it to us. Now, if you pre-order 3 and give gifts to 2 people close to you who you know will benefit from this, or you know need it, you know will benefit from it, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get everything I already told you. All right, so everything I already told you, you're already getting that, but here's what you're going to get extra. Number 1, I'm going to give you a video of how I landed a book contract with a major publisher. Why I decided to do this book with a major publisher, how that contract came to be, what went behind it, the whole behind the scenes conversation and everything, and how this came to be. You're going to get the video of how that happened. This video will not be available anywhere else. The audio will not be on my podcast. It's not available publicly on YouTube. It won't be on my website or anything. This will only go to the people who pre-order 3 copies of the book. Number 2, what else are you going to get? I'm going to tell you about that writing process, how I outlined this book, how I came up with the concepts, how I came up with the content, the stories that went into it, the development, the editing process. What was the whole process for putting this book together? This will be very valuable for those of you who may in the future be considering writing a book, especially one where you work with a major publisher, where there will be multiple editors working on it, maybe more than you thought, and maybe more editing than you thought you were going to need to do, you'll be doing. Number 3, what you're going to get. I'm going to do a live Q&A webinar, where I will be right there on the screen talking to you right there on the spot in real time. You will be on the screen. You'll be able to see me, talk to me, interact with me, ask me questions, and I will answer your questions. This webinar will only be available for those of you who pre-order 3 or more copies of the book. And I'm going to give you one more thing, a video where I explain the process of how this very podcast happens every single day. It is not as simple probably as you think it is. It is not as complex as you think it is, but there is a process. How do I come up with the topics, the concepts, the stories, get it recorded, get it edited, get it uploaded, get it ready for you to actually listen to every single day? There's a video on that. All of that you're getting. In addition to everything I told you for pre-ordering 1 copy, you're getting all of that if you pre-order 3 copies. Oh wait, there's more. How about you order 10 copies of Work on Your Game? You pre-order 10 or more copies of Work on Your Game, you'll get a 15-minute one-on-one conversation with me. Any questions that you have, any topic that you want to discuss, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be something that related to this book, something related to this podcast. It could be something completely off the topic, has nothing to do with this. Second thing you're going to get, a personalized autographed copy of this book, Work on Your Game. I will autograph it myself with my bare hands. It's not a stamped autograph. Third thing you're going to get for pre-ordering 10 or more copies, in addition to everything that the 1 and 3 copy people get, you're getting all that, and you're going to get this other thing. You're going to get my 30 Days of Discipline course. This is the most popular one. This is all about the first thing I talk about every day when I introduce this podcast was the discipline of showing up day after day to do the work, finishing what you start, having the discipline to actually get started on things that you know you want to do, but you haven't started. And I know you have some things that you haven't started that you want to do. I know you do. Don't try to lie. You know what they are. But wait, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not done. I can't help myself. I got more things to give away. What if you order? What if you got a big team? What if you know a lot of people? You pre-order 50 or more copies. Everything that I've said so far, you get all of that, and you get more. You get my Bulletproof Mindset course. Now, Bulletproof Mindset is my flagship course. It is my most in-depth course. It is my signature course. It is my best course. It is my most popular course. You get that just for pre-ordering 50 copies or more of Work on Your Game. You get a 60-minute session with me. Yes, 60 minutes on the phone or video, 60 minutes, undivided time, straight from Dre Baldwin, just because you pre-ordered 50 copies of this book. And I'm gonna give you a shout out on my Instagram, which is @Dre Baldwin. This is on my feed, not just my story. What is in this book? 12 chapters, of course. Get all the pre-orders, get all the bonuses, get everything I told you about. Work on your game.